I will talk about natural disasters and global warming. Nowadays, global warming is become the topic of conversation for many people, and also people can realize the relation of natural disasters and global warming in their daily life. First, weather-related disasters are such as drought, extreme temperatures, flood, wave, windstorm, and something else. All of these disasters is affected by climate system. These days, as industry developed, its enormous shift to cause global warming and resulted in climate change. As you can see the figure, natural disasters increased since 1970s. If the whole Earth's temperature increased because of global warming, glaciers in the North Pole and South Pole would melting. Just melting glaciers. This melting water could float in the ocean. The water is just melting glaciers, so the salinity in this water is low and is very cold. That's why these melting glaciers affect the Earth's circulation climate system. These natural disasters cause lots of damage. This graph shows the economic damage in USA. After all, people bring about all of these cost and damage. Also, you can notice the weather-related disasters increase. Looking at the graph about hurricane. However, there is a more serious problem. 262 million people were affected by climate disasters in 2004, more than 98% of them in developing countries. Most of CO2 emission is made in developed countries, but a large part of damage is in developing countries. This difference both extremes the world. In Africa, there are so many developing countries, and they suffer from drought and desertification. We need to save our Earth for ourselves, our children, and the whole world. Thank you for this.
Today I'll talk about transportation and increasing carbon footprint. How did you come here from your home? You definitely took subway, bus or car or airplane to come here. No matter where we go, we cannot help using any transportation. Transport is a very important part of life, but more important, transportation is bigger. It affects environment. This graph shows us CO2 emission per person in Korea. The content is divided subsections, which are electricity generation, car, energy, manufacture and construction, transportation, and others. Some of the emission is 10,086. Some of emission is 10,086. Section that occupies largest proportion is electricity, which occupies 36.9%. Second is manufacture and construction, which occupies 18.4%. Third is transportation, which occupies 18.1%. But we should consider that car occupies 7.9%. Practically, when car is included in transportation section, sum of percentages is 26%, which is second largest. Why does transportation charge a large proportion of CO2 emission? Because each fuel usually depends on petroleum, which is the main thing, emits CO2. Originally, coal emits more CO2 than petroleum. Considering a standard unit, petroleum is highest on that graph. It means that we use transportation system over our estimated scale, and emitted volumes is not much different between petroleum and coal. Now, let's analyze more concretely in transportation section. It is graph that compares volume of CO2 for long distance between transportation. All low points means that all passengers sit on the vehicle, so volume of emitted CO2 is is divided by the number of passengers. Higher point means that half of passengers sit on the vehicle, so volume of empty CO2 is divided by the number of half passengers. In the graph, SUV and passenger plane overwhelm other vehicles in terms of volume of empty CO2. Relatively, express bus and hybrid car are low and eco-friendly. This graph is similar to graph that we saw just a moment ago. Just the standard is short distance on this graph. As you can see, mid-sized car and SUV emit more CO2 than others. In contrast, commuters, train, and hybrid car are efficient and helpful on the environment. On the basis of analysis, we can think and consider alternatives or methods to cut CO2 emission. First, the measure to cut CO2 is using transportation. You can watch that private vehicle like SUV, mid-sized car are bad on the environment, so we should use subway or intrabus. Because when you use subway or intrabus, the number of subway or bus doesn't increase, but when we use car, we add 1 to original number of using car. Second measure is to use alternative fuel vehicle, like hybrid and so on. If we have to use cars or convenience, we should use eco-friendly fuels that is developed or will be developed in the future. This graph shows us that our society proceeds to positive way using hybrid cars more and more. And last measure is to create pedestrian-friendly environment by ourselves. If we go short distance, we have to be accustomed to walking. This is all for my presentation. Thank you for listening.
I will talk about the deforestation of the Amazon. First, I will show you the present situation of the Amazon, and second, I will analyze the main reasons of the deforestation, and then I will suggest the solution of this serious problem. First of all, look at this graph. This graph shows deforestation in the Amazon from 1988 to 2010. The vertical axis indicates square kilometer deforested per year, and the horizontal axis indicates the years. Some people may think that this situation is good because, as you can see in this part, deforestation is declining these years, but this is out of point. We need to sum up all the deforested areas to feel seriousness of this situation. Between May 2000 and August 2006, Brazil lost nearly 115,000 square kilometers of forest, an area larger than Greece. And since 1970, over 600,000 square kilometers of Amazon rainforest have been destroyed. Why is Brazil losing so much forest? What can be done to slow deforestation? 60 to 70% of deforestation in the Amazon result from cattle ranches, as you can in this part, while the rest mostly result from small-scale agriculture. Despite the widespread press attention, large-scale farming currently contributes relatively little to total deforestation in the Amazon. But first of all, why is this deforestation regarded as a serious problem? We can get the answer through this picture. This process is called photosynthesis, as you know well. As you can see in this picture, plants, especially many trees, can transform carbon dioxide to CO2, to O2. CO2 causes many serious problems such as global warming, greenhouse effect, etc. Look at this picture. This indicates that this is becoming reality. But we can offset this by planting many trees. But if so many trees in the Amazon rainforest are damaged, we cannot reduce CO2 effectively, and we are exposed to many serious problems. So, what can be done to slow deforestation? First, we should rehabilitate and increase productivity of formerly forested areas and lands. And second, international aid is needed to balance economic growth of Brazil with the preservation of the Amazon rainforest. Thank you for listening.
Our Amazon forest, especially deforestation. We already know that one of the causes of global warming is greenhouse gases. This mind map shows solution of global warming. What we have to pay attention in this presentation is to plant trees. Trees purify the air of the earth and help to reduce carbon dioxide in the air. There is something plays a crucial role as lung of the earth. That is Amazon rainforest. This is Amazon forest look. What a wonderful, superb natural landscape, isn't it? However, the rainforest is being destroyed because the value of rainforest land is perceived as only the value of its timber by short-sighted governments, multinational logging companies, and landowners. Look at this video and see how the rainforest surface has been changed. As you can see from the video and this picture, rainforest is becoming smaller. If we can't stop deforestation, it will produce bad results. 50% of all species on Earth lose their home. Don't you want to see this animal? Also, burning the forest will create intense amount of carbon dioxide. Someday we will live in burning earth. All we need is to be a little more educated and more aware of evils of deforestation. We can make difference. Thank you for listening.